Some of our God-given rights, the rights in our constitution, can actually get you killed. Nobody needs to die in these demonstrations, by the way. No single property needs to be destroyed. They need to understand that this is something that can actually be done in a peaceful manner. And we have demonstrated in the past that it can actually be done in a peaceful manner. Nobody needed to die. And that is what I was saying, that it was a very expensive process, because we've seen the families of the people who are killed. Some of them were not even in the maandamano. There can never be a justification for you to send police to drag people from their houses, bludgeon them to death. I mean, what justification is that? Yeah? In fact, if those young men had committed any crimes, take them through that legal process that we talk about. But there can never be justification for you to do that just because people are expressing themselves. And I have advised them that if you have a problem with a provision of the law or the constitution, you have the numbers in the house. Just amend it, scrap Article 37, so that we don't have these pyrrhic rights that are just on paper, but we can't exercise them. You know, it was a very difficult period for us, Latif, if you remember. People openly talking about shooting us, killing us, assassinations. It's not a pretty thing to be in. And I remember being caught in the worst demonstration when we were blocked in Embakasi here, in Kware. I saw death with my own eyes. I mean, because people are just firing into your vehicles, projectiles. You don't know if they are bullets. And people joke around and say, oh, it's just tear gas. If a tear gas canister is fired to you, at that range at which we saw that policeman breaking a car window and shooting, what do you think is going to happen to you? You know?
Well, we have the case of one member of parliament, the deputy minority leader of the National Assembly, who got injured because from that kind of an incident. That's
scuffle, and it was nothing. It was nothing compared to what we saw here. I'm telling you. So that is the problem we have. We pretend to be a democracy, but then we don't allow for that democratic expression to take place.
Is that going to be part of the agenda?
Which one?
Talks?
No, I have said
demanding accountability for what has happened, the price that has been paid so far.
Absolutely, I mean, you know, so it is not right.
Demanding accountability for it. If it's a police officer who acted outside of orders given to him by seniors, face the law. If it's a senior who gave those orders, whoever gave an order that ended,
you and me know that in a democratic state, that is exactly what would happen. But those seniors you're talking about, senior people in government, CS Kindiki was.
I'm asking whether it's going to be part of the discussion, because even after the handshake of 2018, that never became a discussion.
That's what I'm saying. I wish
Tendo is still a pending justice issue.
I wish my brother,
5 years of handshake.
I wish my brother that there would be accountability.
Stay on.
I wish so.
Stay on, Senator, for the next hour. We're going to open up the phone line so people can contribute.
Okay, I'll be brief in this. And Latif, I wish you could watch this video. I want to thank you for asking that question, because I've been making that point over and over again, okay? Okay. Senator Sifuna made this point that, okay, this has been an expensive process because democracy is not really democracy as we think. And if there's no need of, if you're not going to implement this, what's on the constitution, then they should scrap it. So we cannot pretend that this, we are obeying the constitution, okay? And also he mentioned that about, the people who have lost lives that should have not lost their lives during the Mandamano based on the atrocities that were committed by the police forces, okay? And I agree with him. But Latif mentioned something that I also mentioned here in my channel, okay? You make that point. Even we saw the Azimio hold a vigil for those who lost their lives in Kisumu. My problem with that was these guys went to Karen to hold that vigil in Karen, while these atrocities happened in Kisumu. Okay? That's number one, strike one. Strike two is this. And this is where Latif actually kind of exposed the pretense and the hypocrisy of Azimio without actually doing so explicitly, okay? And this is not a bipartisan issue, okay? Because both the government and Azimio, I think, are in this. Latif asked that, okay, in these talks that these people are talking in Bomas, is their agenda in the agenda of what they of the discussion, okay, about people being held accountable in the atrocities that happened, okay? Because we saw people, they got killed in Yalenda, in Kisumu, Kondele, whatever the case is, where they were being yanked out of their houses, beaten, smothered to death, okay? Why are they not talking about that as part of the agenda? And also Latif asked this question, and it's so funny that after he asked that question, the response was never televised. The question was, Baby Pendo was shot down to death. A baby who was playing was shot to death during Uhuru Kenyatta's regime when NASA was protesting Uhuru's illegitimate rule. Okay? Baby Pendo was killed by the deadly police forces that were ordered by Uhuru Kenyatta through Matiang'i and was shot to death. But what happened? Once Raila got the handshake, it was no longer an issue. They never mentioned to it, and she never got justice to this day. So why should we be convinced that after handshake this time, all this vigil that's been happening in Karen, what gives us confidence that the people who were killed in Kisumu shall find justice? Because clearly it's not on the agenda of the talks. And Mr. Sifuna is trying to tell us that, the Azimio people are bringing things that are in the interest in the public interest, the things that Wananchi cares about. Well, Wananchi also, especially your followers, Mr. Sifuna, they care about the people who died in Kisumu. Why not make that include that in the agenda, in the talks, so we can hold accountable whoever was whether it's Kindiki or Ruto himself, can be held accountable for killing people in Kisumu. Why didn't you not include that in the agenda? Because that's what people care about. Because we want to know that next time we go for Mandamano, we shall not be shot down. And whoever does that, commit atrocities against us, shall be arrested and held accountable for what they do. That's a very good question, Mr. Latif. Okay? So, as much as Mr. Sifuna is trying to have us believe that Azimio care about the people, I don't see it. Actually, he exposes himself, because at first he says, as long as Azimio's agenda is met, the 4 main agendas met, he's okay with whatever Kenya Kwanza are proposing, whether it's the official position for the opposition, office of the opposition, or whether it's the prime cabinet secretary position, which are both whatever, unconstitutional. But he's willing, he doesn't mind if they can have a framework, he doesn't mind taking that office as long as those 4 agendas met. And I'm saying this, you cannot claim to be advancing the public interest if the issue seems to be a bipartisan issue. It's not a national issue. National issues are supposed to be discussed at the National Assembly with the MPs and the senators. That's the legal governmental branch of government that discusses issues like that. And like I say, public participation should also be applied if it's going to be taken through the parliament as per constitution. Okay, Article 118. You take those issues to the parliament, debate it, let the representatives, the MPs and the senators go back to their constituency and participate, let the public participate and see if we really care about opening the servers, if we really care about changing the constitution, if we really care about the entrenchment of the CDF, entrenchment of this office of prime cabinet secretary. Okay? So Sifuna, you failed miserably, okay? I agree on you on some issues, but for the most part, no. This is just a smokescreen for a BBI. Tell me what you think. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe, share, like, comment, and tell me what you think. Sorry this video is long, but it's worth it, I think. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.